I quickly want to understand your background. How did you fall in love with this game?
When I was around 6 years old, I started playing cricket just for fun.
So, what was that moment like when you took the trophy from Jesha?
You can't really describe that feeling. All of us were just really happy because we've shown the world these young cricketers are ready to rule the world. We knew one thing. When we get into the World Cup team, we are going out there and dominating and winning the trophy. We entered the tournament being the dominating side. We had that confidence every game. So you must very well know Shranka Patil.
Yeah.
Shranka came up to me and she's like, will you go opening? And I didn't know what was opening. I told her, okay. When I went to the trials, I saw 60 to 70 girls in the trials. I was very nervous because when I was playing in the playground, I didn't really see girls playing cricket there. I still remember I had gone to the selector and asked her, are you going to select me?
Talking of franchisee cricket, we have to now talk about WPL.
I get picked by the DC. I was very happy because I was been going to the finals and the kind of players they have in the team, big legends. I enter the ground and I see Meg Lanning coming out, Morrison Cap coming out, Jess Johnson coming out, and I just see them and then they're walking past me and I'm just looking at them like this.
I want to talk about this one innings of yours that I watched. It's a game against MI.
That innings was good, but I learned something then that need to be finishing that game as well.
Right.
Because then it went to a very tight situation that last ball they ran two and it was almost like a run out.
Niki, thanks a lot for taking time out, traveling all the way from Yelahanka to Indranagar to do this. I quickly want to just, for the people listening and watching, quickly want to understand your background. What is your origin story? Where did you grow up at? How did you fall in love with this game? What are the early memories you have of it? Very keen to know about this.
So I am born and brought up in Bangalore, and initially when I was around 6 years old, I started playing cricket just for fun. That's the first thing I held. Like my mom, she brought me a bat and I held it, and then I started just going to the playground. There was a playground closer to my house, a very big ground where a lot of people used to come play a lot of tennis ball, cricket, and then there was one side where people used to play football and every different sport. And I used to just go and, there were a lot of boys. So I used to just go play with them. And one of my brothers were also here, cousin brother. So he also used to play with them. So I used to just go and join. And that's when I started playing that a lot, tennis ball, cricket. And then gradually started playing with the leather ball as well. And then started getting a lot of interest in the sport. And I told my mom that, I want to play a lot. And there was this one academy in that playground, and I used to see all the boys, small kids playing over there, and a lot of coaches teaching them what to do. There used to be this hanging ball where players used to, the small kids, they used to just knock on that. So I told my mom I want to join, and that's when, but before joining, actually, I attended my trials even before joining an academy. So I used to just play with the season ball on my own with my mom sometimes and with other kids, but I hadn't joined an academy. And so there was this one coach who used to always watch me play on the other corner of the ground, and he came up and he told that you need to, just go give it a try, go attend under 16 trials. There's trial happening in Chinnaswamy Stadium. So that's when I went for the trials. And
how old were you?
I was 9.
Wow.
When I went for the trials.
So you started playing at 6.
Yeah.
That was what? Leather ball, tennis ball?
That was just for fun.
Right.
Just every day go in the ground and play tennis ball and then come back. And then you gradually started playing with the season ball as well, leather ball.
What age did that happen?
I think maybe after 7-8 months only.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But that's a big step, right? Because if someone is making you play with leather ball, then I think there's a clear sign that they saw something in you and felt this could be taken up seriously. Because I think that's the serious graduation from tennis ball to leather ball, whatever age you do it at. That's why I think it stops being a hobby or a activity to something being a little bit more serious.
More serious, yeah. I don't know how that actually happened, but I just started off playing with the leather ball as well. And I was so excited. So before going to the trials as well, I didn't have my own equipments and all of that. So I just had like a small gloves and bat. With that, I used to just do my drills.
Right.
And my mom had put one hanging ball in the living room as well. So I used to irritate my mom also playing the hanging ball in the room. So I remember getting very excited when I got my first kit before the trials, and I saw those white pads, those shoes, helmet, and I was so excited for the trials. When I went to the trials, I saw 60 to 70 girls in the trials, and I was very nervous because when I was playing in the playground, I didn't really see girls playing cricket.
Yeah.
The girls were just, in the playground playing on the swings and all of that, but I had not seen any girl playing cricket.
Yeah.
So when I went there and when I saw around 60 girls, I was very nervous that day. But then the trials went on good, and I still remember I had gone to the selector and asked her, "Are you going to select me?" Because I was a kid and I didn't know what to ask, so I just went and asked her, "Are you going to select me?" And I don't know what she said, but then later on, I got into the team for the selection matches. So there were 4 teams. So I was playing those matches and I did well. Then there is something called probables, that is before getting picked for the state. So I played the probables as well. And then I didn't get selected for the state. And I was very upset. I told my mom I don't want to play. That was the first rejection which I had, not getting into the team even after doing.
This is what, at the age of 9?
9, yeah.
9, wow.
So then I told my mom I don't want to play.
So what age group was the state team?
Under 16.
Wow. So that's 7 years. That in junior cricket, that age difference does make a huge difference, right? Even if it's 1 or 2. So whose idea was it to send you for the selections?
So I don't remember that sir's name, but he was the one who used to watch me play in that corner, and he came up to me one day. He told, "You need to attend these trials. There's something called cricket trials for women, and you can go and play for your state, get selected and play a little further cricket." So that's when I went for the trials, and that's when I got to know there is something more than just playing in the grounds. So there's something more. You can play matches, and that was the first time I had played any cricket match. It was on the selection. The selection games were the first matches which I ever played in my life, and I didn't know what was opening. I didn't know what was bowling opening or what was going one down, and how did the umpire give out. I didn't know all that. I used to just go play cricket and watch I used to watch a lot of Rahul Dravid's.
Right.
Rahul Dravid was batting. So just that. Apart from that, I didn't know much about cricket. So I went and I didn't even know what I was. I just knew I have ball in my hand, I'm going to bowl. I have bat in my hand, I'm going to hit.
So the kids who, I can't say kids, they were quite senior, I'm assuming, to you. But what age group of players did you play against in that first match?
So you must very well know Shreyanka Patil.
Yeah.
So she was also there. There's one more player, Vrinda Dinesh. They were all there back then. They were I think 14, 15. So they were captains of each team, and I was under Shreyanka and Vrinda in one team, and Shreyanka came up to me and she's like, "Will you go opening?" And I didn't know what was opening. I told her, "Okay." So then she asked me to pad up, and I padded up and I wore the wrong pads. So on the left I wore right pad, on the right I wore left. So when I came down from the pavilion, they asked me, "Are you fine?" I told, "Yeah, what will happen to me?" She's like, "Can you run with those pads?" I told, "Yeah, what is wrong with them?" I didn't know that I had worn it wrong. And then I just went and just batted and I came out. And that's when I got to know, okay, opening meaning you're the first batter who's walking into the ground.
Right. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you also spoke of how your mom took you to play and your first memories are associated with her. I'm sure family has played a big role because there was this friend of mine who was studying, grassroots sport around the world and what creates talent. And he made this very, interesting insight he brought out from the study saying most athletes globally who become great players either are the second child in the family, because parents typically try with the earliest and then learn and perfect with the second. So if you see all the great players we have in our country today, they're all younger siblings actually in the family, from Sachin to Virat to whoever else it is, right? And at the same time, the ones who do become, regardless of whether they're first or second, the parents play a huge role. Like they are basically the first coach, right? And the first coaching session is actually at home, not in an academy. So I'm assuming your folks' family played a huge role in this journey.
Definitely. I think the biggest role in my life has been my mom's, and she's been there throughout my cricketing journey, and she's seen all the days. I mean, I think she is that one person who has worked harder than what I have done or what anyone has done. And all the credit, I think, goes to her for shaping me and making me the person I am today. And I also have a lot of memories with her growing up and playing cricket, because she put that hanging ball in the living room, and whenever I used to tell her, Ma, I want to play, so she used to get those tennis balls, those soft smiley balls, and throw it to me in the living room, and I used to bat. Sometimes I've hit her as well. And then she's also come in the grounds 12 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 o'clock, and she's given me throws, and I've just batted, because the club timing, they used to start by 3:30, so I wanted extra practice even back then. So I used to go early with my mom, and she used to give me all plastic ball, tennis ball throwdowns, and I used to bat. And then when the academy used to start, I used to go and bat there as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about your first coach, first day in the academy, after going through that selection, because I think that was sort of a graduation into the big leagues, right? And then
Yeah.
you came back and you probably made up your mind saying, now I'm serious about this.
Yeah.
So what was the shift from there on like? Do you remember? Because you were also very young. Most people have this somewhere in their teenage years, most players, but for you, it's as probably a single digit age, which is very, very young.
Yeah, so as far as I remember, I had finished the selection matches, and then I didn't get selected. I came back home. I told Mama I don't want to play, and then she said okay. And then later, after a few days, I said no, Mama, I think I need to be working more harder. And that's when she told, okay, I'll go and let's join that academy. So we went there, and we told her all this had happened. We went, we played matches, and this is where I batted, and told him everything. So I still remember that sir's name. His name was Narayan sir. So he was the head coach, I think, of that academy, and he started teaching me a lot of other techniques, and a lot of practice in the nets. Boys, the small boys, they used to come and they used to bowl, and I used to play with them. I used to bat, then I used to bowl. So there were actually a lot of coaches and also parents who were very interested in their kids' activities. So even they used to come and teach me, okay, you can do this, you can bowl that, you can try playing these shots. And you'll still find such parents who will come and tell you, you can do that better, you can do this better. So back then I used to listen to them, and I think there were a lot of times I bowl off spin. So I in that academy, for the first time, I had learned some variation, that was bowling a leg cutter. So it was one of the students, the players' parents, that came and taught me that.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, and that's how it started. And then further on, when I played for the state, I knew that I have to go ahead and join a better academy. I can't just get
Right.
stuck over here.
Right. When did you realize that? What age?
After playing so when I joined the academy, I played there for almost 2 years, almost 1 to 2 years. And after playing 1 year of state is when I realized that it's not just under 16.
Yeah.
You have to play under 19 as well now. There is senior team as well. So you need to do other kind of
Right.
training.
And when you started the academy, were there enough girls in that age group, or otherwise in general? I'm assuming the academies would be typically more ratio would be more skewed towards boys than girls, right? In most academies. So has it changed now from when you started?
Definitely, there's a very significant change in the numbers of girls joining in the academy now than what it was back when I was playing. In 2018-17. So when I had joined that academy, I was the only girl. So everyone were quite interested, and they wanted to see what I can do. And and that's when I went for the trials is when I saw a lot of girls playing cricket, and just girls and not boys.
Right.
So then again, when I came back to the academy after getting picked, when I went for the trials for the second time, and that's when I got picked for the under 16, I came back again, and obviously you're wearing that Karnataka logo, and no one in the club had worn that, and none of the boys. So I was the first person in that academy wearing that Karnataka jersey. So it was so that's when a lot of parents saw that, and from there we started playing a lot of club matches as well. So there used to be a few teams where again I used to see one girl playing for that team, and that one girl also plays for state. So it used to be like that.
Right.
And then 2-3 years after that, I started seeing a lot of, when I changed my academies, when I started seeing more girls practicing. When I came to JC after 3 years just cricket, is when I saw 3-4 other girls practicing.
Right.
And now when I go to my academy, I see many girls practicing.
Right.
And there are female coaches as well.
Right.
So
Yeah. You made an interesting note earlier saying you're a fan of Rahul Dravid. So was he your favorite player growing up?
he definitely was, because I used to like how I used to watch a lot of test. Growing up, I was watching a lot of test cricket, and I used to watch Rahul Dravid sir's batting, then Sachin Tendulkar, and the way they used to play their drives, on drive, off drive, and the back foot punches. So it was quite fascinating to me growing up watching them play. And also when I had gone for the selections, as soon as you enter Chinnaswamy Stadium, you see a big board.
Wow.
So all the scores of Rahul Dravid sir, and one of his shot. So I had seen that, and from there I started watching a lot of his batting, and obviously the way he's always been so humble, that it attracted me more towards him and his game. So and also when I joined Just Cricket, there was this another team called the Six Academy. So that is Rahul Dravid sir and Padukone sir, their academy. So whenever his son used to come and play, Samit Dravid, whenever we used to play against that team, Rahul Dravid sir used to come, and he used to sit in one corner watching the entire match. He used to not leave. He used to finish the match and then leave. So that was also very, very I used to feel very excited whenever we used to play against that team, because I knew that sir is going to come. And even sir's wife used to be sitting and supporting her son. So I couldn't meet him. I wish that I should have forced one of the coaches to make me meet him, but he used to leave immediately after the game. But
I'm sure you'll have many more opportunities.
Yeah, definitely.
And similarly, I think you also had VVS Laxman as a coach, right? So that also must have been a great experience.
Yeah, he's the head of NCA now from I think 3 years, and whenever we've had our under-19 ZCA camp, our NCA camps, the national camps, we've always gone to the national camp. The academy is in Bangalore, Chinnaswamy. So whenever we are there, VVS Laxman sir always comes. He gives his inputs, and also when we went for our World Cup and Asia Cup, he was there for a few days watching us play, telling us what you can do. And these big people, these legends, they have you can learn a lot of things from there. The kind of calmness they talk with, and the kind of words they use is quite interesting, and you can learn a lot. I learn every time I meet him.
Right.
Every time I meet any big icon.
I'm sure. Similarly, do you look at any of the modern players and say that this is somebody who I'd like to emulate, or for whose game I can sort of pick up few things, or simply put, someone who's your favorite?
In the men's, I really like Virat Kohli, because the kind of person, it's, for example, just giving an example, like you see Sachin Tendulkar, he's always been the same person, but like humble, like calm, and just composed throughout his career. But when you see Virat Kohli, there was like a lot of aggression. There's still a lot of aggression, but the progression which he's made from being that aggressive cricketer, and the kind of cricket he has. Once I started watching a lot of IPL, and there was this one season where he scored tons of runs even with those stitches in his hand, and the kind of attitude he shows on the field, I think it is quite inspiring for me, from the cricketer from the under-19 to what he has become now. There's a lot of hard work. I've seen a lot of his interviews where he's told that he's sacrificed eating that kind of non-veg and
The
that
food.
kind of food, and then he's really put in the hard work into his fitness, from being a little chubby person to being the fittest in the team. So that is very motivating, and the way he speaks, he brings out a lot of good energy and good vibe. And whenever you hear Virat Kohli, I get goosebumps. He's just he knows what he's speaking. So I feel it's not just cricket, he's the best, but apart from that also he's become like a really wonderful human being. So that's what
Sort
I've
of
seen.
a role model.
Role
right?
model, yeah.
And I think he's brought in an evolution or a revolution, I would call it, in the fitness also, right?
Yeah.
In terms of how cricket is now looked at.
Yeah.
Is that something that you also sort of say got the, say, does NCA, for example, today take fitness very seriously right from junior cricket onwards? Because I've heard stories from men's cricket that there's been a huge change from people who started maybe 15 years ago to what it is today.
Definitely, because when I had started playing for the state, I remember for the first 3 years, we used to do just like maybe a TheraBand workout or some kind of core, and we used to not lift weights as much. But now when you see we have these strict fitness tests, and you need to be, it's not just that you train for 1-2 months, you need to be training throughout the year, because there are different kind of tests held throughout the tournament. You have tests now in your own state team, you have test when you go for a national camp, you have test everywhere now. So you need to be fit throughout the year, and you need to keep working harder, because every time you do a test you need to keep improving.
Yeah. I want to cover the part about you making your debut for the state team, because we were just talking about it earlier as well. At the age of 10, right, you get into the this under 16 team, right?
Yeah, under 16.
And then you started playing for the senior team at 13, right? That's a lot of age difference if you look at it. And like I don't even know where to start, because it's like I can't even fathom what it's like, right? So what was your sort of like, were you up for the challenge? Were you a little nervous? Because it is unusual, or is it something common that girls cricket that happens a lot, where someone plays a age category which is maybe 5, 6, 7 years ahead of them? How does it work?
I mean, when I had first got into the state team, so obviously I don't know, it's just been with me. I think it has definitely come from my mom that I don't settle for anything. And if I feel I get a rejection, I just, the next time when I get into that, I want to be 10 times better. It's just been that for me. So when I didn't get selected for the first time, when I went for the under 16 trials, I came back home and I told mom I don't want to play. But then after a few days, I told no, ma, let's join the academy and let's train harder. And she was also there supporting me. And that's when I got into the under 16 state team, is when every game, when I walked into the field, I just wanted to make full use of it and do that for the team. And then gradually there were a lot of other leagues which started happening for the women's cricket. And I think that was the first time where there was something called Karnataka Premier League.
Yeah.
And for the men's, it had initially started.
Yeah.
So for us, it came after 2 years. So that was one platform where I think I made an impact and people actually noticed it, because when you're in under 16 group age, not a lot of people see that. And that too, it's back then. So that was the first time where I was playing with senior girls. That Karnataka Premier League, I think it happened when I was 11. This was, I think, after I made my debut in the under 19. So this was after that. So that Premier League was the first time where I played with a lot of other senior cricketer. There was Veda Krishnamurthy playing back then for that league, and there was Karuna Jain and all these players. So when you see them, you are obviously very excited. So first 2-3 games I didn't get to play, and then the third game they told, okay, fine, you play. And that's when I made an impact, and I played a good inning. And that was my debut for the Karnataka Premier League, and I also got an award. So there were a lot of awards. I got one of the award because I scored
Mm.
certain runs, and that's when everyone saw me for the first time. There were other senior coaches
Right.
who had not seen me because she wasn't coaching the under 16 team. She was the coach of senior teams. So
Right.
that's where she saw me. Okay, this is Niki Prasad. She's another player who plays good cricket. So she was the one who noticed me. Her name is Mamta Mabain, and she was the coach of the senior team, and she noticed me, and that's when there were under 23 trials, and she picked me for that, and I made my debut for the under 23 at the age of 12. I was almost turning 13, and that's when I was just promoted from under 16, under 19 to straight under 23, and obviously there were other senior players who were already established in that side, and they didn't know me much. They just knew me, okay. They knew my name, but they didn't know how I played. They had just seen me in that Karnataka Premier League. But there were these small summer camps also which used to happen, and Mamta Mabain, she was the coach of those summer camps. So I used to go and just play under her, whatever she's giving me, do those drills, do those fitness and then everything. So she picked me for the under 23 and also the selectors of our Karnataka. And that's when it was a T20 tournament, and I played really well in that T20. Even though it was my first time, I played well. And after that, they picked me for the one-dayer side as well. And in one-dayer debut game, I scored 64. And then the next game, I scored a 50 again. And then against Railways, there was under 23 railway team as well. I scored 50 against them as well. And also whenever I used to get to bowl, I used to pick wickets. So that under 23 season, I think, made an impact because I performed really well for the Karnataka team. And straight after that under 23, they put me into the senior team. And that 1 year I played the one-dayers, and then we qualified for the seniors, and COVID came.
Right.
And then we were under lockdown
Right.
for 1 year.
So there was no cricket at all in that period?
We didn't have under 16, we didn't have under 19, we didn't have under 23 that entire 1 year.
Right.
But then the next year, I think there was only senior tournament. There was no under 19, there was no under 16, there was nothing.
But you had made it to the senior team by then.
And
So
yeah, before the COVID, I had made into the senior
Right.
team.
In that journey, was there one innings or one game after which you felt, now I belong here?
So when I was playing under 16, our Karnataka team, so Shreyanka had left, Vrinda had left. Now it was the young batch of the Karnataka side playing the under 16 tournament, and I think I was 12. So that was before the under 19 which I played. So there was this one team, Tamil Nadu. They were the strongest because they had all the senior players playing all. There were 4 or 5 under 16 players who used to play senior cricket. So they were there, and we knew that is the strongest team. So that was the first game of our South Zone tournament, and they batted first. They scored around 180 runs, and our South Zone, it used to be a 30 over game. So we were chasing, and I went, I think, 4 down, and we had to chase 80 runs of, I think, some 60 odd balls. But I kept batting, and the other end, people kept getting out. The players kept getting out. So later it came to a stage where I had to score 56 runs of 5 overs, and I'm batting with the second last batter. So I just went up to her and I told her, just don't try hitting. Just give me single. Let's rotate strike. Even if you play defense, it's okay. But just give me strike. Don't get out. And she stayed till the wicket, and we chased that 58 runs in 5 overs, and it came up to till the last ball, and we needed 1 ball 3 runs, and I hit a boundary, and all the selectors were there, parents were there, everyone were there who were watching that match, and they were all very happy. And I think that is one game which really changed my career, I feel, because I knew that now I can win matches for my team,
Right.
and now I can I know that I belong the higher cricket as well. So that one game of under 16 really changed the entire equation.
Right. As a player, do you feel like there is a certain, like your skill set has reached a certain place where this is the type of player you are? or do you feel there's still sort of evolution remaining in your game? Could be in any aspect: bowling, fielding, batting. Is there something like that that you feel right now?
Definitely, there are a lot of things which I really want to work and really improve in my game. But I have realized that there is this some type of game which I have, which is in me, and obviously there are a lot of you need to change your style in every format you play.
Yeah.
You can't play the same type of cricket in each format. So, but I know that I'm a kind of batter who can anchor the innings and go in that top order 1-2 down and really take the game through. I know that is in my nature. I do that. I've been doing that a lot. But the past 1-2 years have made me realize that I can do a lot of different other things as well. And especially when I played the WPL, I was not going 1 down or 2 down. I was going in the finisher role. So I was going 6 down for the team. So I knew that I had to go, and I can't play the anchor inning then. So I just have to go and keep rotating the strike and get big strike in between. So obviously there are a lot of things I need to be working on and still improving. But I have realized that there is some part of me which has that nature.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask about playing for India. So I'm sure with all these moments you're having, you were clear that there's a good chance, and I'm sure you were also dreaming of that and working towards it. Do you remember the moment, first time you got picked for under 19?
So there's a little bit more to that. So so the World Cup which I played was the second World Cup
Yeah.
which happened. And when the first World Cup was happening, I was also playing under 19, and I was also there till the end, but I couldn't make it into the team. So we had a lot of camps before that, and then I was there in the camps. I was there in the selection matches of that national team, and then there were a lot of other quadrangular series which we played against West Indies, and there was one more team, West Indies, Sri Lanka, and two of our India squad, India A and B, and I was also leading India B squad. And after that tournament, I didn't make it into the World Cup team. That was the inaugural World Cup edition, and obviously I wasn't feeling that well, because I knew that I had performed and I had done a lot of things, but maybe somewhere I wasn't, maybe somewhere I had not done as much to make it into that role. And I knew that next time, and then immediately they had announced that there's going to be another World Cup which will happen in 25, but in 2022 23 it looked very far away, that it's 25. What am I going to do for 2 years 3 years now? And obviously I was very disappointed, but I knew that I can't be disappointed. I can't be disappointed for a very long time, because now it's done. After that, the next 2-3 years what I was preparing, I came back home and I told my mom that I think we need to change everything. We can't go with the same mindset anymore. We can't go with the same fitness anymore. We can't go with the same skill set anymore. So that's when I spoke to my mom, and she also helped me out actually. And she told me that we need better training. And even if that means you have to go around and play matches or do training with different people, let's do it. So that's when I changed my entire fitness. I went to another trainer. I changed my fitness, changed my diet, changed my skills, started training a lot, started working really hard. And for the next 2 years, it was just me going on the field, training religiously, coming back home, resting. And I just had a goal that now when the next World Cup comes, I am going to be there and I am going to be a 10 times better player. And there was this another goal where I have to make it into the senior team soon, and also be winning the World Cup for that. And then 2-3 other goals, World Cup. Then after that World Cup is when they announced that the Women's Premier League is going to happen, WPL. And I told, you have to get into WPL as well. You need to be performing for the team. You need to be the match winner for the team, finishing matches. That's when people will see you. And I think those 2 years of hard work came into picture. And when I this time when I attended the selection, when I played the matches, I was performing even better, and people could see that. Yeah, now this player looks different. It's not the same player anymore. And so we had all our camps last year. The top run scorer over there, winning matches, winning championship, winning trophies. We had Tri Series captain over there, won the Tri Series. We had under 19 challengers, highest run getter, won the challengers trophy. And then the Asia Cup happened, and it was a very short time because we were prepared for the World Cup, because the preparation had started from April itself when we had our national camp.
Right.
And when we had the matches over there, I knew that if I perform over here, that's when I know that I'm going to be there, and they'll be looking at me as a captain as well. I knew that was there back of my mind, but whenever I was on the field, it was just about me finishing the game for my team and just performing.
Right.
So the very last moment they announced that we might be having Asia Cup as well. So we started preparing for that, and soon after the Tri Series is when they announced the squad for the Asia Cup, and that was the first time when they had announced the squad for the Asia Cup. I felt good. Okay, but the thing is, I had been dreaming about playing all that for so long that it didn't. I wasn't that happy or jumping around, because I've seen people who literally jump around and say that, yeah, I've got selected for the India under 19 team, but I didn't do any of that. I just knew that now, since I'm there, I'm going to finish the job. It was that. And I still remember when I had seen the under 19 World Cup squad, I was at home because we had finished our Asia Cup, and I had come back, and then I had gone to Kolkata as well, because the Delhi Capitals team, they kept a small camp, and Ganguly sir was also there. So they asked me to come and attend the camp. So after that, when I came back home, is when I was sitting in my room and people were congratulating me, and I didn't know what was this. So I just got up and I walked towards mom, and that's when my sister came and she told ki they've announced the squad. That's when I saw the squad and I saw my name, first name and captain, and I just went to my mom and I told her that the list has come out. She's like, oh, okay, because my mom knew that I'll be there.
Right.
Yeah, but I was happy then at home. But again, as soon as I saw the list, I was happy for that 1 minute, and then I had another goal that I need to be finishing the job and winning the World Cup. That's my goal.
Right. What I take away from this is you have very high adversity quotient. It's a term, I don't know if you heard about it. We call it AQ. Like EQ and IQ. So there's a saying that you also have something called AQ, which is adversity quotient, the ability to deal with adversity. So from all that you have said so far, from the first rejection to also this journey of getting into the Indian team, it makes it very clear that you enjoy that challenge.
Yeah.
You like to sort of, it's actually a good sign, to be very honest. I think a lot of people I've spoken to who have done well in any walks of life, they have that little bit in them, that competitive spirit, which is, they like the odds being against them. It just pushes them hard.
Yeah, so, for me, I think it's like, I like it when someone goes up against me. I just like it when someone is against me. It just pushes me to do 10 times better. Even when we are playing on the field, for example, if the opponent, they hit a boundary, and if I see people clapping for that, the very next minute I'll for me, it's like, I can't see people clapping for others. I need to be on top.
Right.
Okay, and we need to be winning. My team has to be winning. Even when we were playing Asia Cup, we were playing against Bangladesh team, and in Malaysia, the crowd for Bangladesh team was a lot. Our Indian crowd was only about 15-20 people, and then the 100 people were for Bangladesh, and for every run they took, they were screaming. So I just kept telling my team, stay calm, we have to win this. We have to win this, and we won. And when the crowd went silent, we felt very nice. I felt very nice that the other crowd was silent. So I like it when someone goes up against me.
Right.
Like that competition.
Right. You've also spoken about Nisarg Naik, and the role he played, in helping you through that period.
Yeah.
So that this is the other support system that you probably have, right? Is there something you want to talk about in terms of how did he help you, and what is that side which probably common people don't get to see?
So I think it's good to have people who can also give you constructive criticism and some kind of
Balance.
So you need that balance. Just people saying good stuff will not make you realize where you stand. You need to have those kind of criticism as well. And when an outsider, from an outsider point of view, you can see much better. They coming and watching your match and seeing what things you did good and what things you couldn't do bad. Because when I go home, my mom, she just sees the scorecard and she doesn't know what I've actually done.
Yeah.
So there are other people on the field watching. So when they watch, they have different inputs. So I feel in that way, Nisarg has helped, because I know him since the last World Cup. So he's seen me play, and he's told me that maybe this is what you need to work on. Maybe this is what you can do. So I feel having that point of view is also good. And also throughout that journey, he was there, and he was saying ki, you can do better in here or here. And even now, since he's my manager, he's managing all these things for me and saying, don't worry about things what is outside cricket, you just focus and play. That's your game, just do that, let us do our job. So I think it's good to have that. It releases a lot of tension off you, and you can just play your cricket.
That's very important, right? Because when you are under 19 captain winning the World Cup, automatically I think attention comes, and that's the funnel, right? You enter through the known faces of a team, and typically you always look at under 19 teams as always the ones who've been captains, and especially the team has won, they've had a good jump start into career, and not just from a cricketing standpoint, but also if you look at the commercial gains that you get, it's something that it opens up the gateways, I would say.
True.
So it's important to have a good support system around that. So
it's important to have the right people behind you at that point, who just let you stay grounded. And
knowing your personality, now I want to ask you about this, because you were obviously named captain, right, of the under 19 team. When you go into a team like the under 19 India team, it's bringing the best players from different states. Everybody probably thinks that they're the best. Everyone thinks that they should be the captain. It's a tricky environment, right, to sort of be in, because quickly you have to also get together regardless of what positions and differences you may have. But if everyone is competitive, everyone thinks like I want to be the best in this team, everyone should clap for me, it could be tricky. So what is your experience in sort of managing that environment? Because in youth cricket especially, it's harder probably than in senior cricket, now that you got a taste of that as well. How did you deal with that? What is that experience like?
I think it is quite tricky and dicey, because when you bring out the best people from every state, almost a lot of players are leading their own state. Like I was leading my under 19, and then I go into the national camp. There are other players leading their own state and coming into the camp thinking that we've led our team, we've led our own state team, we've gone until pre-quarters, we've gone quarters, we've won the finals. So there is high probability of us becoming the captain as well. But it also clearly depends upon the coaches, what they see in us. So we can think that we've led our team, we are the best. But it's what the coaches see, and the coaches, they give us the role. The coaches, the selectors, they give us certain type of role. And when we do really good in that role, and especially the captaincy, and if the team is winning, and I've been scoring runs, so that pressure is not there of thinking that you may or may not become captain. But I feel when you start playing the national camps and matches over there, obviously there is a lot of competition, and everyone has that in them, that they want to make it into the team. And there are a lot of players who think that they want to be the captain of the team, because even I think that I want to be leading. So it is quite competitive. But once you get to know, you have a slight bit of idea that maybe this person is ahead of me, you start doing your own things. You don't worry much about captaincy and things like that, which I've seen in this bunch. Because maybe from the ZCA Tri-Series, the challengers, they knew that these are the players who might be the captain, so let us do our job. And it was very much seen with the squad we had, that they were not worried about anything else. They just wanted to go out there and score runs or get wickets. So which made things much easier, I think, for us as a group, or for the coaches and selectors.
So you have your Challenger series and you also had the Asia Cup before the World Cup. You've obviously been successful winning multiple trophies and leading into the World Cup. Starting off the World Cup, did you feel that you had the best chance? Because you guys eventually look at it, you don't lose a single game. So, what is the environment like on day one or before the first game that night?
I think we were very confident walking into the tournament, is because we had won the inaugural Asia Cup, and also the preparation we've had. So the preparation didn't start just with the Asia Cup. Our camp had started in April itself, and for over 9 months we were preparing for our roles, and we knew one thing from April, that when we get into the World Cup team, when we get into the side, we are going out there and dominating and winning the trophy. That was one goal which was clearly seen in everyone, that they wanted to achieve it. And I think that makes it much easier to shape all the players, even as a captain or as a coach. So I feel everyone, they had a clear goal, and also the kind of support staff we had, and um, the kind of ground facilities and everything which BCCI provided us, because we had won the previous World Cup. So coming into this World Cup, we were the defending champion, and to be honest, it was more motivation for us than any pressure. So I feel that preparation which we have had before the World Cup was very helpful for us going into the tournament, because we entered the tournament being the confident side, being the dominating side. We entered with that confidence, and we had that confidence every game what we played.
So, what was that moment like when you took the trophy from Jesha, went to the team? What is that, in one word, if you can describe that feeling? What was it like?
You can't really describe that feeling, but to be honest, I was very happy, because that is one thing which I've ticked off from the things I want to achieve in life. So I feel after lifting the trophy is when my mind did that tick, that one goal is done. And all of us were just really happy, because the kind of cricket we've shown the world, the kind of cricket we played throughout that tournament, it made a statement that these young cricketers are ready to rule the world, and we are coming. Now we are going to go ahead, and in a few years, a lot of players are going to play the senior cricket as well. And so this is the growth. So now everyone knows that our young Indian side is also quite strong, and the future of Indian cricket team is very high and bright.
Right.
We just made a statement after winning that again.
I'm reminded of a story. So I was 16, I think, when in 2008 Virat Kohli's team won the Under-19 World Cup. I actually followed that entire World Cup because I was preparing for my class 10 boards and I had days off from school, but I would watch cricket. And I think it was also in Malaysia, so day games, right? So you could watch it. And I remember I was back then in an academy, just telling you earlier, which is run by Sadan Vishwanath, who was a player from the 80s. And I remember that the team that won landed in Bangalore, and they had this ceremony in Chinnaswamy Stadium. And a lot of ex-cricketers went and spoke. And I remember my coach at that time said something. He said to the team that look at the previous team that won the World Cup Under-19, which was I think the 2000, which had I think Mohammad Kaif as a captain and Yuvraj, right?
Yeah.
And he said, how many of those players have made it in the India team? And he said, just 2.
Yeah.
So he said that this doesn't mean that you have arrived, but the fact that it's just a start.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a very interesting message, because I don't think often at times we think of it that way, the common viewers, because we get caught up in this, and then there's a lot of hope and sort of expectation that's put on players. But it's also important to remain grounded, right? To know that this is sure you've achieved something, and like you just said, now you have to win more.
Yeah.
So does a team also look at it that way? Do you think that or do you feel it's easy to sort of get caught up in that moment and forget when you had such a big high?
I think it's really important to create this culture of winning. And I think the previous World Cup which had happened, we had won the World Cup, and then again coming into this World Cup, I feel the kind of cricket which we played throughout that 9 months, I feel it was one of the best which I have seen in the young cricketers, and the kind of preparation, the kind of hard work which came through the coaches and the BCCI and everyone. I think we need to create that culture of really, working hard and winning matches for India. So once we make that culture is when, we'll see a lot of cricketers coming in from that age group and really performing in the highest stage. Because like you said that, when Mohammad Kaif sir had won from that batch, there were just two of them which went on and played for the Indian side. And then even in the 2008, I think there are few players who came up and now they're playing for the senior team. So I feel obviously this thing is going to be there, that not everyone can make it into the Indian senior team. But when you create that culture of just winning matches, once you go into the senior team, you know that you need to be giving 100% for your team and for winning matches. At least I see it like that now it is just one thing which I've achieved in life. I still have many goals to go, and this is just a start for me. This is not something which I've done it and now I can rest. It's just a start. And if you see it like that, you'll see a lot of players coming up, and I see it like that. And I just don't want to stop here. I want to go ahead and play for the senior team and win World Cup for the senior team. And wherever I go, even if I play any franchisee cricket, give my 100% and win those tournaments as well. Why stop anywhere?
Right. Talking of franchisee cricket, we have to now talk about WPL, right? Incidentally, the auction happened much before the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
So obviously that wouldn't have sort of that high was not probably expected also. And we were researching at our end, in terms of certain things about you and WPL, and a very nice little story came about of how Vijay Bharadwaj actually was the one who sort of recommended your name. But do you remember what was happening when you obviously registered for the auction? And was there some kind of understanding that there are certain teams interested in you? Were you hopeful? What is your state of mind?
So I actually had attended a few trials for a few teams. I had attended MI trials and RCB trials, but I had also got call for the UP Warrior trials and DC trial, which got cancelled. But I never attended DC trial last year. I had attended DC trials the previous year. So last year I didn't attend anything for DC. It was RCB and MI. So the way I played over there, I was a little hopeful that maybe I can get in either of these team, because before the selection they had to retain players and they had to release players. So I had seen the team and the kind of squad they had, and maybe I thought I might get into one of this team. Looking at what I do, maybe I might fit into this role over here. That was my calculation which I did. But when the auction happened, I had registered for the auction, and my name was there in the list. My number was there in the list. So I knew if my name comes up, maybe I have a chance that I might get picked. But first my name needs to come up over there saying number 59 Niki Prasad. It needs to come up so that I can get picked. That is the first thing we have. So because coming into the list is okay, you can get into that list, but that name is important over there on that screen.
Yeah.
So that was the day the auction was happening. We were playing our first Asia Cup match and we were playing against Pakistan. So that was my first time leading for the India Under-19 team, and it was my first match playing for the India Under-19 team, and it was against Pakistan. So first of all, I was very excited for that. And then once we came back is when the auction had started. So there were few other players also whose name was there in the auction list, and I think one of the name came up, Kamilini, and she got picked for 1.6 crores. So now everyone is very excited, thinking what now even they might have a chance and things like that. So I was also quite nervous. So I just went to my room and I wasn't watching the auction because we didn't have that option of watching in Malaysia. The screen wasn't opening, so we had to call one of our friend and watch through her phone. So when I went to my room, I couldn't see the auction. So two of my friends, they came to the room and they told, did you see? And then I asked, what did I see? So they're like, you saw the auction, your name came up, but you went unsold. So I felt a little disappointed, and I told to myself that it's okay. If not this year, then next year you have to make
Right.
it. It doesn't stop here. And then we were just talking, and then we were just seeing the rest of the auction for a while, and then we stopped watching, and then people went to their room. Both of them went to the room. Then again, one of my friend came back, and then she's like, "Okay, now accelerated auction is happening, so let's just watch it." And few of the names came up, they went unsold, and then they announced 59, number 59, and I knew that was my number. So as soon as that came up, DC picked me, and we were just in shock. And then when they told 1, 2, 3 sold, is when we started jumping, and all the girls came running to my room, and then they knocked my room, and I went open. Everyone was just congratulating me. Then my mom called saying, "Did you watch?" I told, "Yeah, I watched." So yeah, we had won the first match of the Asia Cup, and then coming back to the room, I get picked by the DC side, and I was very happy because DC has been going to the finals, and the kind of players they have in their team, big legends. I'm a big fan of everyone in the team, and obviously it was very exciting for me. And then I get called from DC saying, congratulations and all of that. So it was a
Nice.
very nice moment for me that day.
Got it. What is day one in the preseason camp like? It's obviously first experience of WPL, right? So I'm sure it was different from anything else you've experienced before.
It definitely is, because I've never played with big international players, and over there, I think the preseason. So I went immediately after winning the World Cup. So I went home for a day, and then the next day I take a flight and I go for the camp. So I actually went late because the camp had started earlier itself, and we had maybe 3 days left into the camp, and then we straight away head to the tournament. And I still didn't know what my role exactly was. And I go there, and the I get the most sweetest, and the most warm welcome from the DC team. I just enter, and then obviously there are cameras, and then there are senior players. I saw Jemima, I saw Tanya Bhatia, then there is Shefali Verma, there is Radha Yadav, all of them holding few things, few bouquet, pen, signs, flowers on me, some aarti on me. They did all that, and then they gave the most warm welcome, and it was very sweet what they did, that welcome for me. And that itself gave me more confidence, saying I can just walk into this team, and I can go up to people and talk to them, because they just gave that vibe that they are very friendly and they are open to anything I ask. So I think going into that, I was nervous when I was sitting in the car, but once I entered, it was just excitement and happiness. And then the first practice session, a lot of foreigners hadn't come. And the next day when we had match is when I enter the ground, and I see Meg Lanning coming out, Morrison Cap coming out, Jess Jonathan coming out, and I just see them, and then they're walking past me, and I'm just looking at them like this. I first, for the first I think 3-4 days, I was just calling them ma'am, because I didn't know what to call them. So we were playing match, and Morrison Cap was bowling, and I was saying, "Come on, ma'am." And then Meg Lanning was batting, and every time I met Meg Lanning outside the cricket field, I'll just look up to her and say, "Hello, ma'am." And she'll just be like, "Hi." And then later on, once the tournament started, I started calling them what other people call. And but franchisee cricket is very different from Indian cricket.
Right.
Feel, yeah.
How so?
Because over here you are not when you play for the Indian side, you're competing with other countries, but over here those players are also playing in the same team, so you learn different culture, you learn different things, what they do in their team and what we do here. So there's a lot of different things which you can learn from big international players or any other cricketers.
Right.
So I feel that you are not limited to just these many resources. Now you have more resource, and you can ask, or you can just see them do and learn more from those players. So I feel that is something which you can gain in franchisee cricket.
And mainly if you look at it, it's Australia, England who probably have had the longest history tradition in women's cricket, right? Because you look at the history, they've been winning a lot of World Cups. So culturally they're a little ahead, I guess, in terms of women's sport in general, and I think just women's cricket in general. So there'll be a lot more of say practices, and even in technology side, I'm assuming they must be a little ahead.
Yeah, definitely. I feel Australia, they've won so many World Cups, so many trophies for the Australian team. I feel so now, since I've seen people from Australia in that same team doing things which we Indians don't do. So I feel that is something which you can actually learn, because there's one very interesting thing which I saw in Meg Lanning. So she and that's what I've heard a lot of people say. So I just went to the physio of our DC side, and then I just asked her, which is that one player who never comes to you, and she said Meg Lanning. And then I asked her ki, you've been with the side for 3 years, what is something which you've noticed? And she mentioned this one thing, that Meg Lanning, no matter what, every day she would wake up early in the morning, and then she'll go jog for almost 1.5 hours, and then comes back, freshen up, eats her breakfast, and then rest. She does that every single day. It's not one day which she does that. She does that every single day. Even if there is a match, she's doing that. And she's coming back, she's doing her things, and then she'll go to sleep. So I found that quite fascinating, that even if you have a match, say
Right.
7:30 in the night, match starts, you're up early, running on the roads, then coming back, doing your fitness, and then coming into the field. So that shows how fit they are, because that is seen on the field, that they are just running every over, behind the ball. They are just the quickest, they are the fastest. So that is seen. Whatever they
Right.
are working hard, it is seen on the field. So I feel that was something which I found quite fascinating. And for me, it's like, if I see someone do a lot of different thing which is working for them, and which is making them grow higher, even I start doing that. And it has hit me, and I've been starting to do that, but it needs a lot of time to get used to it.
Right.
And yeah.
Very interesting. I was also looking through the participants of the Women's World Cup, and I saw Thailand at one point wanted to put in a team. I think they backed out. They couldn't. They probably didn't participate. Right. There was Malaysia, which had a team.
Yeah.
There's a lot of countries who typically you wouldn't associate with men's cricket. I think there's also Nigeria.
Yeah.
A lot-
Nigeria, yeah.
Yeah. So there are a lot of these countries who probably are playing, and I start to think maybe women's cricket is a way in for some of these countries, because men's might be too competitive at the first level. But it's good to see, right? These kind of, because I feel that cricket, to become a global sport, needs probably lot more teams playing at the World Cup. And I'm more and more I look at it, I feel like women's cricket probably will get there first before men's cricket.
Yeah, I feel especially introducing the World Cup for the under-19 for the women's has been a good initiative, because for teams like Malaysia, Nigeria, where even the senior team doesn't have so much growth, I feel when you start grooming young players is when you can see the growth in the senior team as well. So I feel introducing this World Cup, which is giving a good opportunity and platform for other countries to come up, like Malaysia and Nigeria, Thailand, all coming into a very big event and playing their game, watching others play. I feel that is something which is going to benefit their senior side as well, because they are the young players. They are going to go ahead and be there in the senior team as well. So that is something which is going to grow their cricket as well in their countries.
Right. I want to talk about this one innings of yours that I watched. It's a game against MI in the regular league stage, which you batted till the end, and luckily you guys, like, you couldn't finish it off, but
Yeah.
it was a great game. Was that the sort of, you would say, your best innings or the best moment of this WPL?
For me, I'm never satisfied. That is a good innings, but if I had completed that innings, I would have been a little satisfied, saying at least I finished the game for my team. But I couldn't finish it, so I wouldn't say like it was the best inning for me in the entire tournament. But it was a good innings, and that innings made me understand this WPL much better. And that innings made me more excited for the other games as well, because that was my debut match, and that was the first time I ever played against international players, or or even for big Indian players. That was the first time straight jump from under 19 to a place where there are big international players, and then there is the Indian captain, there are other players. So I feel that was a big jump, and going into that match, I knew that they had told me earlier that you'll be making your debut today, you'll be playing. So this is the role which you have for today, and just be prepared according to that. So I was quite excited for the role I have, because that's something which I don't do it very regularly, but I knew that I have the capability to do that role as well. So I was very excited for it, and I was just very excited to be on the field with other players, and me actually showing what I can do to everyone. So that, I think, debut match of mine was something, I think, which put a mark, and people after that started noticing me a little more. And I think that innings was good, but I learned something then, that need to be finishing that game as well.
Right.
You can't leave it, because then it went to a very tight situation. That last ball they ran to, and it was almost like a run out. So never leave the game like that.
What are your sort of goals for the remainder of this year? This is a big year because there's also the World Cup, right? You probably have an eye on that. And then there's everything, and then probably you have unfinished business from a WPL perspective, knowing how you are now, that I've heard about your mindset. What are sort of the big goals that you're looking for the next 12 months?
I think obviously the World Cup coming up this year, I feel I am working right now. I have a little break, so I'm trying to do a lot of hard work and do a lot of other drills which can improve my game a little bit more. And there are a lot of other tournaments also which is coming up, like maybe an emerging Asia Cup is what we heard, and other things. So whatever opportunity I'm going to get, I'm just going to make sure that I'm going to perform over there, and make sure that I finish the matches for my team, because that people really notice when you finish the game, when they see that this player walked into a very tight situation and has taken the team through and won it. So people notice that more than you scoring a 50 and then getting out. So that's what I've learned playing from so many years, is that you need to be finishing. Like you see Virat Kohli, he finishes the game, chase master. So that's what even I want to be. So whatever opportunity I'm going to get next, I'm just going to perform and just keep knocking that door really hard.
There isn't enough red ball cricket, right, for women's in general in the game. It's coming up slowly, and I think there's a lot of push happening. As a player, and as also especially when you were younger, getting into the state team, etc., was the mindset to always, like, if you had to choose between being and playing more red ball or probably long format games versus say a WPL or more T20, what is your preference, or how did you look at it? What is the coaching advice given to you? Because I listen to a lot of youth coaching related content, and a lot of youth coaches are saying focus on the longer format, because that's when your technique is built. Then you can play any format, right? You can mold yourself. But a lot of kids obviously today growing up see Glenn Maxwell or say Nicholas Pooran, for example, playing those innings, and there's so much noise, and that entertainment factor brings more crowd in, right? So you might think that I want this glory, I want to be here. But if you had a message, or if you had to share how you look at it, how do you see this?
I think the way cricket has grown over the years, I feel now every format has become started going really fast. Now none of the format looks slow. At least to me it doesn't look like that, because even now you see in one ODI match, team is scoring 400, 450. In a T20 there is team that is scoring 287. You see IPL 287, 280. So I think the cricket has started moving quite fast. And I feel you need to find that kind of balance in your skill, in your mindset, that no matter what format you switch to, you need to, still keep playing that aggressive and attacking cricket, and still keep taking runs and scoring runs. It's no more about just looking 3-4 overs and then you can start pushing. It's no more like that. Even if you're just looking at a bowler who's bowling really good, you can't just just leave or things like that. At least I have seen that. So now people are still trying to be little attacking, little aggressive. Okay, if we're defending, let's try defending in the gap, and let's at least try getting a single than a dot. So it's even when you see the World Cup which happened, the men's World Cup, I think the way India, New Zealand or Australia, the way they were playing, I think you didn't see a lot of slow overs. Is what I didn't notice much. And they just kept taking runs. Even when we play, when we have our NCAs, HCA camps, the coaches, they tell us that don't be very defensive, just be little aggressive. Don't be attacking, but be aggressive. That's the cricket that has become now. Don't be attacking in every format, but be aggressive, that you're still looking for runs, you're not stuck.
Right.
When you are stuck, you lose the game. That's what I think happened when India versus South Africa match was happening, where on the South African batter they were batting. They told Bumrah is the best bowler for Indian team. When he came to bowl, they told let's look out and not hit him, and they defended him. 2 wickets went over there. Imagine if someone had tried playing little aggressive, maybe one boundary would have changed something.
For sure.
But they just went defensive. So that's what cricket has become now.
Right.
Aggressive.
So what would be your one advice for any young cricketer watching this?
So I think young cricketers should always, listen to their mum first. Mums are always right. That's what I've realized. And you need to stay grounded. You need to, just keep working hard. Throughout my life, I've been working hard, and even going forward, I know that I'll have to be working hard. And even when you reach that stage, you still need to be working hard and still, retaining that spot every single tournament, every single game. So you need to be working hard wherever you go. You'll be having break, you'll be having a lot of failure, success, but the hard work should never stop. Just keep working hard and believe that you are really made for big leagues. That is what I believe in myself. Believe and hard work.
This is great fun doing this with you. I wish you all the best for this year and for everything that lies ahead. And I hope you add many more trophies like you said, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you so much.